Hi everyone, welcome back to another video on my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. I wanted to talk today about ADHD, boredom and the need for change. So this might not relate to every single person who's watching this video, but for me, I went through very often feeling bored and wanting change in my life. When I was a teenager, this very much looked like wanting to change my room around a lot. I would literally every few weeks move all the furniture around. I would redecorate if I could. Obviously I didn't really just have the money to do that as a teenager, so I wouldn't really do that so much. But I would move things around, I would upcycle things, I would buy things from car boot sales and charity shops and things like that, and I would make changes to my bedroom very often. And then when I got a little bit older, I couldn't really settle on what career I wanted, so I would constantly be changing my mind about that. I mean, I'd be changing my mind about so many different things. I was never really certain about anything. And then when I started working, that became a bit of a struggle, in that I really constantly wanted change and I was getting seriously bored. But again, there wasn't really much that I could do about that because I didn't want to be constantly changing jobs, and my physical and mental health wasn't that great either. So having to go through all those changes, I think probably at the time I was just really afraid. But I'm actually happy and content where I am with my life right now. And I started to be after I started taking medication, and I didn't crave change constantly. When I was in my 20s, so I'm now 32, but when I was in my 20s, I would, constantly want to go out to different places all the time and seek a variety of different ways to entertain myself. I would change my mind about everything all the time. I would start a blog and then I would switch it out, and I just did so many different things. I just struggled to finish things because I just constantly wanted that need for change, and it was dopamine seeking, I think. Now I am 32 years old, and I've been on medication for I think 4 or 5 years now. Maybe 5 years, coming up this May, June time. I really like stability. We have our own home and I've decorated it in here. This is my office space and I haven't changed it much at all. And I always was changing things up all the time before. I kind of look at the past even and kind of get nostalgic and want things to be as they used to be. Things like having to get rid of a car and stuff like that is a lot more harder now than it used to be. Before it was just I could just switch things out really easily because it gave me that dopamine. I didn't miss things so much, and now I tend to miss things a bit more. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I can deal with that very well. It's not a huge problem for me. But what was a problem was the constant need for change. One of the things that I decided to do the year that I got diagnosed with ADHD, when I was trying to change my life around for the millionth time, and get my life together and everything, I actually made kind of a promise to myself, and that every day that I had off work, and bearing in mind I did continental shifts, which was 2 days on, 2 days off, 3 days on, 2 days off, 2 days on, 3 days off. So it's a 2-week pattern. I had loads of free days in the week. So what I decided is that every day that I had off, I would go out somewhere different. I would do something different. And that's really when my life started to change a lot more, and I started to spend a lot more time in nature, and my mental health started to improve a little, because it was this, I was going on an adventure every day pretty much, and it was really exciting, and I just wanted my life to be like that all the time. And the reality is, we don't get to have life like that all the time. We have responsibilities, we have to pay the bills, so that was you know, if I could have lived like that, I would have been a lot happier without taking medication. But you know, the fact of the matter is that you can't live like that. I mean, I know some people who do live like that, who are very, very lucky to live like that, because, you know, maybe their partner or their husband or their wife or whoever earns enough income and like is okay with the other person not working, for example. I can't really do that, and I don't know if I'd really want to put that pressure on somebody else and sort of live off somebody else, but definitely some people are happy doing that. I don't think there's jobs like that are constantly rapidly changing. I think maybe there are, but I also personally want to be in control of that change. I don't want somebody else to be in control of that change for me, if that makes sense. So yeah, as I said, like, I feel a lot more stability in my life. I feel a lot more content with just normal everyday stuff of life, which is really, really nice, actually. And so this is like all I wanted, just to find some kind of inner peace and contentment in my life and balance, rather than, you know, always seeking all the time. So I'm grateful for that. But yeah, I just thought I would share a little bit about my experience with boredom and change. And the changes in my life I could make were like really, really small things or really large things. The bigger things made me more excited, I guess. But yeah, so I will end the video here now, and if you have any thoughts or comments on this, how this would play out in your life, or does play out in your life, I would love to hear your stories as well. Just thank you for watching, and I will see you again in another video.